Welcome to Fantasy Kingdom. I am your host, Mikey, and as always, upstairs we have my co-host Tommy. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, brother?
It's a good weekend. Some good weekend for some football, and then down in the basement, back to his original position. Howie, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
So we'll kick this thing off with a barn burner on Thursday night. We had Washington versus Chicago, which at least we had a touchdown, fellas. We saw a
We did.
touchdown this week.
We did.
Yeah.
But man, can you imagine paying 13 billion for the rights to games, and these are the games you're given?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll get better. They'll. I have a feeling the NFL will make Amazon happy next season. It is what it is for this season, but yeah, right now they are what they are, man. The games are what they are. But that is Thursday night though. It is the
Mhm.
weakest night for football of the week.
Mhm.
We all know Sunday night football, Monday night football is the crown jewel, right? So Thursday
And
night is just
and so
it
what's
is what it is.
crazy is Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit are actually one of the better commentator duos. Like I
Yeah,
enjoy listening to them talk. You know,
yeah,
my favorites obviously Romo and Nance because they're fantastic. You know, I love Iron Eagle. Iron Eagle's great on CBS as well. Um, and I can't stand Buck and Aikman. They just bother
right.
me. I can't do them. And then Collinsworth just always bothered me. I've never liked him as a commentator. So, Thursday nights the ones I actually like to listen to him, and sure as crap, been some horrible games, and they've been crapping on him too. It's not like these other channels. Amazon's been crapping on on them. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's been entertaining at least. Okay, so let's move into it. This week starts the bye week, fellas. So we have the Lions, the Texans, the Raiders, and the Titans all on byes. That means no Derrick Henry. That means no Devontae Adams, no Amon St. Brown, DeAndre Swift, and all those guys. So it's time to start digging into people's benches as these buys are starting now. So it'll be
Mm-hmm.
interesting to see how some of this stuff plays out. This week's key matchups. We'll start with the Broncos at the Chargers. You have Russell Wilson, who's coming back from his shoulder injury. He actually had a procedure done after last Thursday night's game. Melvin Gordon, Jerry Judy, Sutton in their defense versus Herbert, Eckler, Williams, and the defense. Um, Keenan Allen is still out. He still has not come back yet. So I'll start with Howie. If you have to choose,
Ugh.
I mean, I imagine you're going to go with the Chargers because you own most of them in the fantasy leagues.
I do.
If you had to choose between the two, who are you taking?
No, I'm taking the Chargers because I've got Herbert, Williams, and Eckler all starting.
Okay.
I mean, I'm glad somebody dropped Williams so I could pick him up for my Keenan. I mean, I've got so many good receivers in our league, in our
Hmm.
money league, that it's like I've got Thomas out, I got Allen out, Olave's got a questionable with a concussion. I got Thielen.
Oh,
Thielen.
I think Olave's back. I thought he cleared the
I'll
protocol.
probably put him in
Yeah,
there. It's
yeah, I think he's
it's
cleared the
it's going
protocol.
to be between him and Thielen, and it'll be easy. It'll be an easy
You love
pick.
your Thielen, man. You love your Thielen.
I like Thielen. I like Thielen.
I know
Hey,
you do.
I could be in really bad trouble with all the receivers I've lost with
Yeah,
losing Allen and Thomas, Baboom.
yeah.
I still got four of the receivers, so I really like the draft I did. It
And
was all
Tyreek's been
yeah.
battling injury.
Tyreek's hanging in there though, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm still happy. I'm hanging in there at second, and I
All right.
beat you. So
Yeah, but you beat me when you had most of your starters before you lost them all, outside of Allen.
yeah, well, they're coming back. They're coming back, and I'm
So
still in second place. So
you are still in second
yeah,
place. So
I
Tommy,
you know
we'll move to you. Of the two groups, I guess I probably shouldn't have put Wilson in there, and I probably should have put McManus because he's the one guy on Denver you probably want to hold on to, the field goal kicker.
yeah.
Um, who you going with this week?
Oh, the Chargers. The Chargers have. I
Oh,
wouldn't
no
touch.
faith in
I do
Denver,
not
huh?
like. No, no, zero faith in their any fantasy option. It's that's crazy that Russell Wilson has like been so bad. like that he has declined this much.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who the hell owns him on their fantasy team, but I feel bad for you. Like, I would not be starting that dude
Let me
anytime
ask
soon.
you this, Tommy. Do you think it's Russell Wilson's declined, or do you think he's just not fit into an offense that he's never run before?
No, I think he's declined a little bit. I
Do
think
you?
Seattle's I think Seattle saw that. And I think even his last couple years in Seattle, where you can kind of see it happening. He wasn't bad, but you can kind of see he wasn't the same Russell Wilson. And he had a dynamic receiver, right? He had DK Metcalf, so wasn't that
DK
right?
and
That's right, receiver.
Lockett's underrated.
That's true. Like, right. He was really good for him. So kind of just felt like he was just kind of like they saw the writing on the wall with him, shipped him over to Denver, got what they can, which was smart. And now, of course, a little could play into factor. It is a new system, bad head coach. I mean, you got to take that stuff into factor as well. But he should be playing. Like, listen, some of these throws he's making is on him. Like, he's missing receiver. So that's not on the head coach.
That's not a thing.
He's missing guys wide open, bro. So either he's super rusty or he's just not. He's declining, and that happens, bro. Not every player is Tom Brady. Not every player can go to a certain age and still be,
super
playing at a high level. Yeah, so it's very possible he's lost some steps there.
He was a lot better when he was saving himself for marriage. he got married, got a hold of some of that good stuff, and it's like, you know what?
The crazy part is I like his wife a whole lot more than I like him.
Yeah.
She's a really good entertainer. So okay, so we'll move on from that one. Like, honestly, on my end, I would also go with the Chargers, although I don't think they're barn burners either. I think the best outside of Herbert, who tends to just throw his butt off all day long, because their defense is many all pros as they should have on that defense. Like, that offense always has to score because they're always behind.
Right. Well, they don't have a really good running defense, that's for sure.
No, but you think about it. They have Bosa and Khalil Mack. Then they have J.C. Jackson. They have Derwin James. I mean, you think that defense would be better.
On paper, they should be, but they're
who knows?
Although that's what makes fantasy football great, because they got to score like crazy.
So. I know, right? Yeah, that's what you want. You want players that are on bad teams that are always behind, that are throwing the crap out of the ball. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move into the Broncos or the Bucks and the Steelers at the Steelers. So we have Brady, Evans, Godwin. Is Julio back? I haven't seen if, and I know he's.
I don't think he's all the way back. He's just kind of he's there, but he's not really.
I know he's been nursing an injury, and then the Bucks defense, which actually may have been the best fantasy play so far for them this year, versus the Steelers. We got Pickett, Najee, Deontay Johnson, Claypool, and Pickens. If you had to choose one, Tommy, I'll start with you. What set are you taking?
Tampa, 100%. Listen, you saw what happened last week when Bills played
they still had good numbers from a fantasy perspective.
Listen, you're going against a good defense. I don't know what happened last week versus the Chiefs for Tampa. I expected better than that, but they're a better defense than what they showed last week. I don't think Pickett's gonna light it up. He'll do good, but I don't think he's gonna do good like he did against us. But he's not gonna get any real fantasy numbers, because I don't think there's gonna be scoring touchdowns. You see that they're shutting down that Najee Harris has not been effective this season, so you can already cancel that out, right? You're going against a good Tampa front there. Their D line is good, so that I just don't see Najee having like a killer game. And then you got Brady, who had a good game last week. Mike Evans is back. I just like their team better. I think they have more fantasy value. So Tampa Bay, and they're going to kill Pittsburgh. They're gonna kill Pittsburgh. So I just don't see Pittsburgh. I don't see the weapons. I like the receiver, the rookie receiver. What's his name, Mikey?
George Pickens.
Yes, I like Pickens, but the problem is he might, just like last week, he might get some yardage and you might get some fantasy points there on yards, but I don't know if you'll get in the end zone. And that's that. If he's not getting in the end zone, then that's what's the value? I mean, you're going to get some yards. And by the way, this is and by the way, this is the second game for Pickett. Now the film is out. Like I always say about these young guys and these guys that are coming in, quarterbacks that that no one's ever seen before. They might have a good game or two, but once the film gets out there, like the guy from Washington, I forget his name, but once the film got out, people are like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Tyler,
Heineke, whatever. Yeah, so he's just an example. But once especially with rookies, that's why they always say the second year sometimes these rookies have a little drop because now defenses go, okay, they have the film on you now.
Anybody.
Yeah, they're not fooling it. So you don't trust me when I tell you, Pickett's not. Pickett's going to struggle a little bit, as games go on, as the season goes on, because teams are going to get familiar with the style. They're going to look at the film. So you'll see. I think you'll see a little bit more of a rougher performance than he had against us. Like he had played good against us, but you'll see against Tampa, I think he'll struggle a little bit more than he did against us in certain situations. So,
Howie, if you had to choose, which way are you going?
Oh, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I think Pittsburgh's got a nice little base to work on maybe for next year. They got their young guys, and if they they draft right and they get their line settled, maybe in the future. But right now, I mean, they can't make it into the end zone. Last week they had a lot of passes. They made it to the 20 5 times, and instead of kicking the field goal, of course, they were so far behind. They said, "Oh, screw it, let's go for it." But they had 5-6 chances to score.
Yeah.
So in the future they'll probably do a lot better. But no, I have a feeling they're going to be the whipping boy for the rest of the season.
And they may be. And I'll tell you, from a fantasy perspective, I'm going to take the Steelers on my end because last week Pickett threw 50-something times, and he completed like 60-something% of his passes for over 300 yards. Granted, he didn't get in the end zone, but these receivers got a lot of catches. Especially Pickens. Pickens is probably the one that I would really want inside of that offense because he seems to be their go-to guy and the sure-handed guy. Deontay Johnson, if he would learn to catch the ball, that guy would be really, really good. He just drops so many passes. And Claypool, I don't know what happened to him. He just kind of fell off. He's not explosive. He's big and he can use his body, but he catches the ball okay, and he's but Pickens is the one I'd go with. So you guys take your Bucks. I have zero faith in Tom Brady right now. That guy looks horrible.
He looks like he wants to quit.
He does. So where's he going to go?
All the trouble at home. Yeah, he's not going to go home. He's going to go to a studio somewhere and call home every now and then.
Yep. So at the end of the day, I'll take the Steelers because I have a feeling they're going to be down big and have to throw a lot. So,
I mean,
go ahead.
Tom Brady. I mean, they didn't put a lot on the point, but last week he did 351 and a touchdown. It's not terrible numbers. I'm just saying,
he's getting good numbers, but I think he's so frustrated with everything.
No, he definitely is not. Yeah, he's not.
Pickett threw for 330, but he just didn't have the touchdowns.
I mean, no, I get it.
You're talking a 6 point difference.
But also going against Pittsburgh defense that Bills absolutely lit up.
Oh
yeah. But let's be honest, the Falcons defense isn't anything to write home about, and Brady went for 351.
Yeah. So just a heads up too, the week before against the Chiefs, Brady went 39 to 52, 385 with 3 touchdowns. It's not like he's having
those 3 touchdowns came in garbage.
I get it. No, I get it, but you're going against a way different team. That's the Chiefs. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's why I don't think that they're going to have a ton of yards. I could be wrong. Brady could prove me wrong and go for.
I just don't see. I don't see that. I look at the matchup. I just don't see Steelers.
I don't think they're going to win.
Giving them a tough time.
Game.
No, I get that. I
think the Steelers, all their points are going to come garbage time because they're going to be down so big. That's what I think is going to happen.
So fantasy wise, you're right. Pickens and Pickett will probably do okay fantasy wise, but they're gonna lose badly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so let's move into the next one. We got the Cowboys at the Eagles. We have Zeke Pollard, Lamb, and Schultz versus Hurts, Sanders, Brown, Goddard, and the defense. I mean, I'm going to ask you guys. I think I know the answer already. Howie, I'll start with you. What side are you taking here? Oh, that hard.
I mean, I think the Eagles will win, but Dallas has got a pretty good defense, and if they can shut down Hurts, then I think they have a chance of holding the score down.
Okay.
I have a feeling that if they can do that, it'll be a crappy day fantasy wise, but I think it's going to be a really good game.
All right, Tommy.
I have an upset, by the way. I think the Cowboys are going to win.
With Cooper Rush, that quarterback.
Yeah. No, I think it's more about. I think it's more about the turnover battle. I think Cowboys are gonna. I think with Parsons, with Diggs, I think just Parsons alone will get Hurts to make some mistakes in this game, and that's how Dallas will wind up winning on turnovers. But anyways, I'm gonna go with Dallas just because of what I just said, the turnovers. I think Hurts gets some turnovers in this game, which will affect his fantasy points. I think Dallas's defense will do very well in fantasy numbers this week because of the turnovers. They could take one to the house, which will be key to whoever has their defense. I'm not crazy about Dallas's quarterback. I think he's a serviceable quarterback till Dak gets back.
He's I
think that's crazy that anyone's even talking about Dak being replaced
not getting
by this
the
guy.
job back. Yeah, right.
That's absolutely
the dude threw for
ridiculous.
like 100 yards last week.
Right, that's not going to happen. Like, he's serviceable backup. That's it. And like I said just a minute ago, the film's not out on that guy. Wait till teams start to thank God for Dallas, it's not going to happen because Dak's going to be back, I think, next week. But yeah, once the film gets out on, you're done. And he's not that impressive. I think he's just doing a good enough job. And they got a great 1-2 punch. Not that Elliott's doing much on fantasy, but with Pollard and Elliott both kind of getting the rock, they're they're two different types of running backs. Pollard has a little bit more speed than Elliott right now, but they're getting the job done, man. So I'm going to go Cowboys more based on the defensive side of things and total fantasy numbers. But I still like Pollard. I think Pollard gets a touchdown or two. He usually does. And yeah, that's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with Cowboys on this one.
And again, I'm going to go against you guys. I'm going with the Eagles. I love the Eagles defensive line. And then although Hurts may struggle a little bit, AJ Brown is a man child. How do you not pick that guy to go off? So I'll take the Hurts, Sanders, Brown, Smith, and Goddard connection. The Cowboys have done well to hang in there with the backup quarterback. That Eagles defense is nasty, and I think they're gonna cause him to have some turnovers this week. And I think the Eagles are gonna win, and I think they're gonna win big. I think Michael Parsons is gonna have a good game because he always does. But Diggs is a boomer bust player. He has the most interceptions, but he also gives up a bunch of long touchdowns. And what does AJ Brown do? He has explosive plays. Or Devontae Smith, either one of them. You put either one of them over there. They're big play machines. So I'll go with the Eagles. Our last game of the day, we have Bills at Chiefs. So we have Allen, Diggs, Davis, Knox, Singletary defense versus Mahomes, Edward-Helaire, Smith, Schuster, Kelsey. We'll start with Tommy, as this is your team. Let me guess, you're going with the Bills.
Of course. So yes, Buffalo. I would definitely take Buffalo. Josh Allen, right alone, right there. You know what he's going to give you offensively and fantasy points. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir, Isaiah McKenzie, Devin Singletary. I mean, this game, I'm predicting one of those games where Allen pretty much feeds the ball to everybody. I think everybody gets some points here because I think the Chiefs are going to really be concentrating a lot on Diggs and Davis, especially Davis, I think, because of what he did last week and what he done against the Chiefs. So look out for like Shakir, players like that, McKenzie, to be involved a lot more in this game. I really believe
Singletary
that.
at the backfield.
And Dawson Knox could have his first potential breakout game, or at least a touchdown game, or two, depending on how the Chiefs are playing it. So and Singletary as well could catch a lot of those short yardage passes and get some yak after that as well. So I expect a lot of things going on the Bills' way. Now the Bills' defense is a tough one, depending on how they play. I don't think they'll have the high points they've been having against like the Pittsburgh and the Rams.
7 second half points.
Right. I know, I get that, but you're not going to get the sacks. Oh, bless you. You're not going to get the sacks on Mahomes. I think you'll see a lot of pressures. You could get a few, maybe, but overall, we don't get to him a lot. But I definitely can see pressures, but that doesn't count as fantasy points. He doesn't really traditionally turn the ball over a lot, so I don't see us getting like a lot of turnovers on him. But yeah, holding them to a certain amount of points, sure. But on a fantasy note for their defense, I don't see it being like a high output of points just because of that, But I'm going to go with Bills overall because I just think Josh Allen's going to feed the ball to a lot of people, and they're going to have a high scoring game on offense.
Right. Howie, to you, who would you go with? As you're the non-Bills fan here.
Well, fantasy wise, I think both the quarterbacks you got to start them. I'd kind of stay away from both defenses if I'm starting in fantasy, because they're both going to score, and your defense is going to get dinged up that way. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, start everybody else. Well, because it's a bye week, first of all.
Yeah.
And I couldn't focus on one player. I couldn't tell you who's going to be the go-to guy for either one of those teams, because both those quarterbacks have multiple options, and it's going to be a really good game. I think Buffalo's going to win. I think Buffalo's going to win, but it's going to be entertaining, back and forth. And I'm going to say whoever's got the ball last is going to win.
All right.
That's
very much like the playoff game. Yeah, so very much like the playoff game last time.
Yeah.
All right. I would also go with the Bills. I like the Bills' defense better than I like the Kansas City's defense. I have a feeling that, although I do believe I'm with Howie, I wouldn't start either one of the defenses because Patrick Mahomes is a magician. Like, I know everyone likes to get into the debate of who's better, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. At the end of the day, they're both special, and we should just enjoy them being great. Like, you can enjoy Patrick Mahomes being really good, and still,
they've got separate skill sets.
Yeah, they really do. They're both really fun to watch, and they both will their teams to win. So it'll be a great game. Ultimately, I like the Bills defense more than I like the Chiefs defense, so I'll go with the Bills. Okay, so we'll make the transition into the sit-start this week. So who would you rather sit or start? Breece Hall at Green Bay or Miles Sanders versus Dallas? I'll start with Howie.
Breece Hall.
You're going Breece Hall at Green Bay?
Yeah, Dallas' defense is a little tougher, and I think Green Bay is in disarray right now. So yeah, I'll go with Breece Hall between the two of them.
All right, Tommy.
Breece Hall and who? I'm sorry.
Breece Hall or Miles Sanders?
Breece Hall, because I think Dallas' defense will do a good enough job. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Breece Hall. Which, man, I tell you what, I was wrong on him so far. I didn't think Breece Hall was going to be as good as a lot of people were saying he was going to be good coming out of the out of the draft. And maybe I made a mistake.
He's had one really good game.
Yeah, but he looked solid. Yeah, but he was looking already kind of solid, and I just think he needed the opportunity. He needed more opportunity. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he looks good, man. He does look good. So I'm gonna go Breece Hall for that. I think they're gonna be trying to use that running game a little bit more, especially what he did last week. They're probably gonna want to see a little bit more from him, so they'll use him more.
All right, then we'll go J.K. Dobbins at the Giants versus Zeke at Philly. Tommy, we'll start with you.
J.K. Dobbins and what?
J.K. Dobbins at the Giants or Zeke at Philly.
I'm going to go
Both have really
Dobbins.
good run defenses.
I'm going to go
Both have really good
Dobbins.
run defenses.
Yeah, Elliott's just, man, only because of the split thing right there.
Mhm.
And I think Pollard's just starting to take a little bit more of the carries. He's getting a little bit more of the longer runs too. Elliott seems like he lost a step, especially with the speed. So I'm gonna go Dobbins on this one. I like the
All right.
matchup better as well.
Howie?
I'll go with Dobbins too. I think it's the same thing with, whether it's the Eagles or Dallas. They both have good run defenses, and
Mhm.
if I had the choice this week, I'd take Dobbins.
All right. I would also go Dobbins. I don't trust Elliott at all. Um, like he's super talented. He just doesn't seem to fit into that new offense that they're running. Like he just doesn't seem to. He's not a good fit for it. Like I think he'd fit better if he was with Baltimore. I really do, because they're a more run-heavy team with a better run line. But anyways, moving on. So now this is a who do you sit? Who do you start over three people? One. Singletary at KC, Hunt at versus New England, or ETN at Indy. Howie, we'll start with you.
I like Hunt.
You go Hunt.
I like Hunt. I think he's got a good matchup, and I mean they're focusing on Chubb. I mean he's doing wonderful, but Hunt's been getting in there for a few points. I've got him in one of my leagues, so
right.
yeah, I like him.
We have a Gru sighting in the background.
Yeah, he's back there.
Tommy, for you, buddy. Who
All right,
you
so you
going
had
with?
Singletary. Who else? Give me the
Hunt
names
or ETN.
for the Jags.
Yeah. All three of these guys are in timeshares. That's why I put them here.
Yeah, I would love to go with Singletary because he's my dude, but it's just the way the bill. They're just not gonna. They're just not gonna do it.
Unless he's catching the ball.
I know. I take that, but the thing is, he doesn't really get touchdowns. He might get some yards in the passing game. Like I could see him having a typical, maybe 60 yards passing, receptions, and maybe another 40 on the ground because they just don't use them much. But that's not enough. I'm gonna go Hunt because I think Hunt, especially in the red zone, I think they're gonna use him a little bit more there. Man, they're so close. Him and Chubb, they really split the reps well. I mean, I think Hunt's getting like 13, 14 a game, man. So carries. I'm gonna go Hunt.
Crazy that Hunt's getting that many carries or touches a game, and Chubb still leads the league in rushing.
I know.
Isn't that nuts?
It's crazy. And Hunt is man. I'm telling you, man. Like he's a good back.
He would be a number one on almost any other team.
Yeah.
On most teams.
I agree. I'll go Hunt, like I said, on that, just because of the single. I want to go Singletary, but Hunt go.
There you go. That's fantasy play.
Yep. And I'm going to go ETN here. ETN over the last few weeks has started to pick up his snap share. And last week he out-snapped James Robinson for the first time and had a better output. With that, Indy's also facing a bunch of injuries on defense. So I'll go ETN, especially in a PPR league, because he's a great pass catcher. And he has that connection with Lawrence from his college days. So I'll go ETN this week. Amari Cooper versus New England, or Deontay Johnson at Tampa Bay. Tommy, we'll start with you.
Amari Cooper, say it again.
Amari Cooper versus New England, or Deontay Johnson versus Tampa Bay.
God, the way New England's defense has been playing lately, they're tough, man. They are. I'm gonna go Johnson just because of the way New England's been playing lately. On defense, man, they really are locking it up, man. I'll go Johnson just because of the Patriots defense. They've been playing really lights out, man. I got to give him credit.
I'm gonna go with Cooper. I think he's gonna have a good week.
All right. Any reason why you think he's gonna have a good week, or you just the gut?
Well, that running game's gonna open up a lot for him. And even though New England's defense is good, they can't they got to keep people up in the box for that running game.
Right.
So that opens up the passing game a little bit.
I'm also going to go with Cooper, but I'm going to go with Cooper for a different reason. I believe he's like their one passing weapon. At the end of the day, I have a feeling that Cooper's going to see about 10 to 12 targets, to where Deontay Johnson is probably their number 2 or 3 in that offense, because Pickens is the number 1,
Right.
and then Freiermuth, if he's back, is really the number 2, their tight end, and then I would say we go to Deontay. So then we got Lazard at the Jets. We got Olave versus Cincinnati, or we have Juju versus Buffalo. Howie, we'll start with you.
I'm going to go with Olave. I think Juju, there's no telling if he's going to get anything or not. I'm going to go with Olave because everybody's down in New Orleans. I mean, all they got's Olave and Hill basically, because Kamara's hot and cold. Landry's out. Thomas is out. Winston's out. Yeah. Olave.
All right, Tommy.
So it's Olave, Juju, and who?
Alan Lazard, Green Bay.
Okay, so Green Bay goes against the Jets in Green Bay. I'm going to go Lazard on this one.
No,
I like the matchup.
It's not in Green Bay. It's at New Jersey.
No, it's at Green Bay, bro. No, it's wrong. Yeah, it's at Green Bay. They're in Green Bay, New York. Okay. Unless I'm reading it wrong, it's like New England's at Cleveland, Jets at Green Bay. I'm looking right here.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to go Green Bay because they're in Green Bay. And Lazard, and I feel like last week, with the loss, was a terrible loss by Green Bay, by the way. I think they have a bounce back game here, Lazard. I think you're going to see Rodgers trying to get him a little bit more involved. He is his go-to guy, I believe, over the veteran receiver that I can't believe still playing over in Green Bay. So I'm gonna go Lazard on that one.
All right, and I'm actually going to go Juju. I think Lazard is option 3 for them. It seems to go Cobb, Tonyan. Really, it goes Aaron Jones as their option 1. He seems to be their focal point. And then it goes Cobb from a receiver standpoint. And I think Tonyan. Lazard has the ability to have a really high ceiling, but he has a really low floor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Olave, although he is the main receiver there, I don't trust Andy Dalton or Hill to throw him the ball. So I'm going to go with Juju, as he's going to play in the slot and he's going to get Taron Johnson. He's going to get a lot of one-on-one coverage as we probably bracket Kelsey. So I have a feeling he's going to have a lot of catches with decent yards. I don't think any 3 of these guys are going to have a huge day, but I think Juju has the best day. Okay, moving in. Hunter Hearst at New Orleans, or Taysom Hill against Cincinnati. We'll go with Tommy. We'll start with you.
Taysom Hill. I'm gonna go Hill. These are one of their few weapons right now on offense. He had a really good. Another guy I tried to pick up. Somebody scooped up. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go Hill on this one. I think that's really all they got. They got very few options. They're leaning on him a lot on the offense, unless they totally shut him down because they know that, which could be the case. Very well could be if they're focusing on Hill. He could have a bad game, but I'm going to go Hill because he is the focal point of their offense right now until Winston gets back healthy. And their other receiver, what's his name? Michael Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah, they're really limited right now on their weapons. So I'll go Hill just because of that.
Howie?
I'm starting Hill. Starting Hill in our league because I'm starting him over Ertz. And I like him because he gets those quarterback points. He's only had a couple catches all season, but he makes up for it in the runs. So yeah.
So do you feel people are chasing the Dragon because he had such a big week last week that people are like, I want those points, because he's hit and miss all the time?
Oh yeah, he's gone like 2 points and then 34 points. And if I can get 8 or 10 off him, I'll be happy.
All right.
I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want at your tight end.
He also, much like the Lazard thing, has a really high ceiling but a really low floor because you never know what you're going to get out of Hill. He could
Right.
bust off multiple touchdown runs,
Well, right now,
or throws.
like Tommy says, he's one of the only options they got right now.
Yeah.
They got him and Olave, and Dalton is not going to go running.
The red rifle's not going to take off.
I wouldn't think so.
All right. Then our last one for the set start, we have Noah Fant against Arizona versus Hunter Henry against Cleveland. Howie, we'll start with you. This is
I don't like either one of them. God, let's see. I'm going to go with Fant because I got Gino as my challenge this week. So,
all right.
Give me the names again. Noah Fant. Who else?
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry.
Fant or Henry? Ugh.
I know.
Henry. I mean, both of them are not doing anything. I thought Noah Fant would have had a much better career at this point.
He's in a 3-man rotation, and
I get it.
He was great with Denver.
I know. I don't know. He's great, but I thought he was good. I thought he was improving. Yeah. Like I don't understand. Like you said. I'm telling you, some teams, certain players just do not fit, man, or the scheme or whatever. Because I think he's better than that, man.
He is.
He showed that in Denver, like you said.
Yeah,
like, I don't understand.
In Seattle, they wanted him as part of the package for Russ, but they don't. But they have him in a 3-man tight end rotation, which makes zero sense to me.
You can't. Yeah.
Okay. I will also go with Henry because I don't trust Fant at all. At least Hunter Henry is one of the few. Although I don't trust Bailey Zappi at all either. Neither one of them are great options. But knowing that you have to choose one with some of the tight ends like Hawkinson and Waller on buys, you got to find one. Hunter Henry is one that I think will have an average day at least.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to write home about, but he'll put something up, maybe.
Okay,
6, 7, 8 points. If you're lucky.
Yeah, right. 6, 7, 8 points. That's and hopefully he gets a touchdown.
Yeah. Well, that will be huge.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Last week, Howie dug into his deep leaguer diggers pool, pulled out a Khalil Shakir as one of those diamond in the roughs who came up with a few big catches and a touchdown. So well done there, Howie. Who do you got this week, buddy?
Okay, I got 3 guys, 2 that I'd start and 1 I'd stay away from. Diami Brown, he's a receiver for Washington. Of course, that game's over with. Last week he had a really good game, but I wouldn't chase that dragon.
No, and then he didn't do good at this game at all.
No, he didn't. He didn't. If I could have, say we'd have done this show on Tuesday, I'd have said, hey, stay away from him. My other 2 guys from Denver, I think Mike Boone, he's going to be splitting carries with Gordon. LA gives up bunches to the running backs. So he's getting about 40 to 60 in carries with Melvin Gordon. So if you got a guy that's out this week, he might be a pickup. The guy I'm really touting this week is Eno Benjamin for Arizona. Arizona has no other running backs right now. And he's going to be the go-to guy. So that's the name you want to look for, Eno Benjamin.
Another one that I saw, it could be Phillip Lindsay. There's going to be no Nyheim Hines, no Jonathan Taylor this week for Indy. So he's Phillip Lindsay coming up off the practice squad. Split time last week and actually outproduced the starter when Nyheim went out. So he's another deep league guy you might be able to snatch off of waiver wires if you need a replacement for Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs. All right. Howie's hot pepper challenge last week was Josh Allen, 350 and 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
I still think Shakir is also another one that could have another good week, by the way.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about a sleeper that is probably still available in many, many leagues on the waiver wire, I would, if you need a receiver, like you have a hurt or injury or bye week, I think he's going to have another game that you saw like last week.
Even with McKenzie back?
Even with McKenzie back, I truly believe that because I think that the way the Chiefs are going to be playing defense, they're going to be really concentrating on those two guys, Diggs and Davis, and I think Shakir and McKenzie even McKenzie. If McKenzie
they're all going to get love this week.
I think you're going to see a touchdown from both. I think I truly believe Shakir and McKenzie will get a touchdown in this game somewhere. Like, the one thing about McKenzie is in the goal line or in the red zone, Josh seems to love to go to that McKenzie on those. Because like he barely missed him in Miami. It should have been a touchdown. That was on Josh. It was just one of those games, right? But he goes to him a lot on that little that fade to the outside.
Yeah,
that quick
the arrow.
Yeah, the arrow. Yeah, and then Shakir. Once again, you saw the yak, and that is important. That's what we are missing, and he has that potential. So I could definitely see him also being used in the red zone because he has that speed. So he's definitely. I think both those guys are actually, if they're on the waiver wire, are worth a pickup in this week.
Yeah, especially if you're looking for someone to fill in for your receiver.
Exactly, 100%.
So Howie's Hot Pepper Challenge last week. He had Josh Allen 350, 3 touchdowns. He won. He was actually under. That was a light one for you after last week.
Yeah.
So who do you got this week, buddy?
Geno Smith.
Oh, Geno, the leading passer of the NFL.
That's unbelievable, bro.
I know.
I cannot believe that.
Well, he's lovely. DK Metcalf and Lockett and Disley and all those guys.
I know. He's still Geno Smith.
Man.
That's not going to last. I'm sorry. I can't. I know him too well. I just can't see it lasting. But who knows? He could have it. It's funny in the NFL throughout the years, if you've been watching as long as we have, there's always a player that will have that one special season, right? Like he just plays really above them what he really should be. And is. And it could just be that year for Geno Smith where he just plays above his, what he normally plays like. Yeah. And it could be like Mark Rippon had a great year and they won the Super Bowl that year. Mark Rippon was not that good. He just had a phenomenal year. So it could just be Geno's year, but I just don't. I wouldn't trust him. I still don't.
There's a lot.
There's a falling point soon.
And a lot of those guys get paid.
I'm playing him against you this week too, Tommy. I'm starting him against you. So
Geno Smith.
I'll probably lose again. I've got one of those. I got the most disappointing first pick of all time with Taylor this year. What a waste of time that was. I don't ever want to tell
me about picks. I got so many guys that are on the bench hurt.
My first 2 picks were Taylor and Pittman, and they don't start on my team anymore.
Oh, yikes.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
Terrible.
So Geno, what was his stats for you, Howie?
God. Well, I want to eat a pepper, so I'm going to go 300 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown.
So 3 total touchdowns.
Yeah.
Good game.
That'll be a really good game for him.
No, it's against Arizona, so.
Yep. Okay.
JJ Watt's back, though. They've been playing a little better on defense. I got to give them credit. Arizona's been in close games. I had them winning last week. I don't know if I said it on here. I thought they would pull the upset. They were really close to beat.
They're great in the fourth quarter.
Super
close.
New $250 million man doesn't have a brain fart and spike the ball on.
I know. What were you thinking there, man?
Like, how do you not, like, he slid before the line of scrimmage. How do you not just see? That's the difference. We talk all the time about how Josh Allen runs too much, right?
Yeah, you got it.
And he doesn't slide. Stuff like that is why Josh, goes head first rather than
he gets that first down. He falls forward.
He always gets that first down.
Yeah, and he said somebody was in his ear telling him to spike the ball too. So it's like
the coach was.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah, but the coach wasn't expecting you to slide before the first down mark.
Yeah, but you still didn't need it. You still could have not spiked it. There was plenty of time. You could have still ran a play and then spiked it. Stupid. I don't get it.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
And then they brought out a kicker who was cut by Kansas City because he missed a game-winning field goal against Indy, and he misses this one.
And in practice, every one of his kicks went right. I mean, hooked back.
Just like that, right?
And he gets in there and he kicks it, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker.
Sometimes I wonder about these guys. All right, so last week we in our non-QB X Factor, I won with Justin Jefferson pretty handily. Tommy came in second with Devin Singletary, and man, did James Robinson crap the bed for you, Howie?
Terrible.
Crap
Terrible.
the
Boy,
bed
I was
for you,
all
Howie.
pumped up about him.
Yeah, you were. Man, did he look bad for you?
I'll tell you, lately my picks are the kiss of death. So I'm afraid to make a pick this week.
I gotta look at the matchups here again.
Yeah, look at the matchup. So Howie, we'll start with you, buddy.
I'm going to go with Eckler this week, my boy. Austin Eckler.
Going with Ackler. All right. Austin Eckler.
You know, he's the guy I picked up a few years ago in the 8th round. I was telling everybody, look, I've got plenty of backs. Here's a good one you ought to pick up, and everybody kept passing and passing and passing.
Mm-hmm.
So 8th round, I said, I'll take him. And he got me a championship.
Hey, you gotta go with it. Tommy, who are you going with this week, buddy?
I am torn between two players. I am gonna go. God, I am really torn because I like the matchups on both. I'm gonna go Jefferson. You went Jefferson last week. I like the matchup because the Dolphins are a little banged up in the back there with Xavier Howard. I don't know if he's playing or not, but if he is, he's not 100%. I like that matchup, so I'm gonna go Jefferson on that. But it was between Kupp and him. I like Kupp's matchups as well.
Kupp's money every week, and I'm not going to go with him. I'm going to go with Deebo Samuel.
Oh, that's a nice pickup. I like him too.
Yeah.
He's always getting some.
Just to see, go a little different.
I got you.
I have won 2 weeks so far in this. Both weeks were my Jefferson pick. He's been my money guy. So now I hope he craps the bed for you, Tommy. All right, with that, fellas, any last words, Tommy?
No, but I just noticed we were not recording this whole time. No, it's just a joke. I'm sorry. I had a joke. Go ahead, guys. No, that's it. Go Howie, Bills. Go Bills. Howie, that's my last word.
Yeah. Howie, anything for you?
Well, I did want to say on my hot pepper challenge, I was going to push out and go 275-2, but I figured let's push the envelope, So that's we're going to go 3-3.
That's right. As Howie will eat his hot pepper and then go jump in his brand new spa he's got.
Oh, it's nice. Backyard. It's nice. Got a waterfall, LED lights. It's change,
Oh,
it's kind of nice.
Attaboy. All right. So for Tommy, Howie, and myself. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Go Bills.